Let's make some noise. Come on.
Right, you are, Nick Foles. Welcome back, everybody, to another broadcast week of the Final Word here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network. Your boy, MattyB, on the call. It is Victory Monday here in the Delaware Valley and all points west, east, south, and north. The Eagles improving to 8-2 on the season with a 16-9 win over the Detroit Lions last night at Lincoln Financial Field. But yes, it is true. All is not well, and we will get into that. We're going to continue to dive into what has become the enigma of the 2025 Philadelphia Eagle offense and what has also become the surprise story of the year for the 2025 Eagles defense. Definitely a Jekyll and Hyde situation happening in South Philly with your football team. And the biggest question on my mind tonight is this going to be enough? Is the way the Eagles are winning football games, the win is a win is a win, which is probably going to be with us pretty much the rest of the way, barring a complete turnaround by the offense. But is the win is a win is a win going to be enough to capture a second straight Super Bowl and propel the Eagles and the city of Philadelphia into the Eagle dynasty? So we're going to get into that. We're breaking down some more of the game as I had the dubious honor last night of sitting in on postgame. Actually, I hosted it. I didn't sit in on it. Al sat in on it, and it was a great show. I enjoyed Al coming on. Thank you for jumping on with me, Al. I appreciate it. It was fun. It wrapped up a MattyB weekend here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network as I was all over the damn airwaves. The only thing I did not do this weekend was the Steel City Sunday, which I would have been fun to see me try to do that. But great weekend here. As you know, I was the one-man wrecking crew on the network due to some personal issues with Mike Laro and some just general staffing problems here. It was left to me to handle it all, but it was fun. Got to watch some good hockey, mostly, and an interesting football game in the process. So we're going to get in the Eagles. We're back in baseball. Baseball's back in business, folks. We got a bunch of stuff to talk about. The Hall of Fame has announced its 2026 ballot for the Hall of Fame, class of 2026, and it is laden with Phillies. Laden, I tell you. We're going to get into who's on it and who should possibly get in, who might get in. This could be an interesting year. You know what? I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to say a Philadelphia Philly player is getting into the Hall of Fame this year. I hope 2 of them. It'd be great if it was 3. But I'm going to say at least 1 of them gets in. So we'll talk some Hall of Fame stuff. The hot stove is heating up. The first domino, the first big name of MLB free agency has signed. Where is he going? We'll get into that. No news on the Phillies front as the Phillies remain silent as they're waiting, positioning their chess pieces, whatever it is the hell Dombrowski's doing. But nothing is coming. No news is coming out of South Philly. We are going to wrap up. Listen, I was delinquent last week when we were following the postseason, or not the postseason, but the 2025 awards season for MLB. There's about 4 of them I didn't tell you about. So we're going to get into that tonight. We're going to finally close the door on the awards. We got your day in Philadelphia sports history, your card of the night, and your prospect, or I'm sorry, of the night segment. And maybe I'll work in some hockey. Maybe we'll talk some Flyers. Flyers on a 5-day hiatus, mini bye, if you will, union break, if you will. Is there a trade working? They did make a trade today, a very minor trade. We'll discuss it. It's not really earth-shattering at all. It's a minor league player for a minor league player, or a tweener for a tweener. But we'll get into what the Flyers could possibly do over the course of the next 3 or 4 days to maybe address their biggest weakness on this hockey team right now, and that is between the pipes. So we got a lot to do. We got a lot to get into tonight, so let's not waste any more time. Let's wrap it in. Let's get it going. Let's strap it in, and keep your head, hands, and feet inside the car at all times. Joe Hale, how are you doing? And let's buckle up for your night or your day in Philadelphia sports history. We go back to the year of 1985 in a 5-4 overtime win over the Islanders at the Spectrum. Raise your hand in this room right now if you've ever been to the Spectrum. I have. 5-4 win over of the Islanders at the Spectrum. The Flyers won their 13th game in a row, still a team record. It is a fourth longest streak in league history. The Penguins won 17 games straight in 93. So tonight, the Flyers celebrate their 13-game winning streak, which, interesting enough, this was right after the death of Pelle Lindbergh back in 85. So it was a weird time, weird time to be a Flyers fan. I remember it well. But I long for those days of 13-game winning streaks. I long for the days of consistent winning hockey. I long for Stanley Cup level play. That's what I long for. But congratulations to the Flyers on this night back in 1985. In result of a 5-4 win over the Islanders in overtime at the Spectrum, they ran their season winning streak to 13 in a row, the longest currently in Flyer history. Can I open the phone lines? 100%, Joe Hale. Absolutely. And your day in Philadelphia sports history is brought to you by the good folks at the Fight and Spinal. Thanks to Al, who pointed out a very glaring issue with the graphic last night. I was able to go back in today and fix it. And I fixed it. So here you go. Our 2025 season in review of the Phillies will air on Thanksgiving Day at noon. It will be pre-recorded. So I'm just giving you the warning right now. So if you're trying to chat with us, it's not going to work. I mean, you can chat. We're not going to respond. I'll see if I can. I'll respond later in the day when I come back to the computer. But we will do our in-season review show on Thanksgiving Day at noon. So we're looking forward to that to kind of wrap up the 2025 Phillies season and start looking ahead at 2026 officially, especially on the Fight and Spinal. But let's roll. All right, let's get it in. There's no need in prolonging it. 16-9. Eagles with the win. Last night was a great post-game show. I think I mentioned to Al that we might, at this stage of the season, look at going with dual hosts for post-game opportunities now, running into the playoffs. And I think what I want to do in the playoffs, if the guys are on board with it, we are all on for the playoffs. All three of us, four of us, we're all going to do playoffs post-game. So I think we're into that time of the year. Typically, it's after Thanksgiving you get there, but it was fun having having someone that kind of knock things off of. Even though it was a homer, but still, it was fun. But 16-9 yesterday, in what 24 hours later is still one of the more dominating defensive efforts this team has I've seen over the course. Again, I mentioned it on the post game. You had 2 games coming off the bye. Going into the bye, the defense was still up in the air. I mean, the pass rush wasn't that effective. In result, the cornerbacks and the secondary were getting picked apart. It was very frustrating to go along with the inept offense. The Eagles were not really looking all that good heading into the bye. Yeah, they blew the brakes off the Giants, but who cares? But the acquisition of Jalen Phillips, and yes, I mean, I'm not shying away from the accolades or the congratulatory response to Howie Roseman deserves for bringing in Jalen Phillips. Short-term success, absolutely. But if we don't win the Super Bowl, we just spent a third-round draft pick on a rental player. And I don't care that we had three third-round picks and we gave one of them away. I'm not making excuses for giving up a third-round draft pick. I would rather have 3 third-round picks than just 2, honestly. But if the Eagles are able to, and so far through 2 games in the Jalen Phillips era, he has somewhat invigorated the entire defense. Now, Nakobe Dean's got a lot to say about that. Came back sort of a few weeks ago from that injury that kept him out for a ton of time, almost a year. He has started to round back into form. And I said this last year, if Nakobe Dean can stay on the football field, if he can be upright and functioning on the football field, he is a difference maker out there. And by hands down, my MVP yesterday of the whole game for the Eagles. So the defense has turned a corner. The pass rush is a lot more aggressive, a lot more disruptive. They're not getting home, so to speak, as much, but they're causing havoc. They're creating short windows of opportunity for the quarterbacks, which then is enhancing and helping their secondary. So it's all working out well defensively. You got Jalen Carter and you got Jordan Davis standing up there at the line of scrimmage with them big mitts of theirs, knocking down footballs left and right. What was it? 6 over the last 2 weeks they've knocked down. I mean, they were picking everything out of the sky that Jared Goff was throwing. They got some help from the officials yesterday. I don't want to hear it, man. I don't want to hear it from you guys. I don't want to hear any Eagle fans tell me to stop saying that. I am, because the Eagle fans that I know and the Eagle fans that I associate with will be the first ones to jump at that. We got screwed all over by the refs. So you're going to take it now because you've been given some help over the last 2 weeks. First in the Green Bay game and in yesterday's game. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that those penalties or non-calls would have resulted in the Eagles losing. That's not what I'm trying. That has nothing to do with me telling you that the Eagles were the benefit of some bad officiating. Whether or not they would have won or lost the football game in result of the right call is totally irrelevant to that statement. So don't go there either with me. I'm not saying that the Eagles won the game because of bad officiating. I'm saying they benefited from the game from bad officiating, as do most teams when they get bad officiating. But my whole point of this is I don't want to hear it from Eagles fans anymore about the refs. I don't, because you've been paid back over the last 2 weeks. Some bad calls. You can't tell me anywhere that call last night on A.J. Brown was a pass interference. Nowhere at any level of football was that a pass interference play. So you got the benefit of the doubt. And on the same sort of side of that, with the game being in question, with such a dominating defensive effort, with such an effort that the 85 Bears and the 2000 Ravens would probably be very proud to have seen, how in the hell, were the Detroit Lions, and then the week before that, in a similar dominating effort by the defense, Green Bay Packers, how were these two football teams in a position at the end of the game to win? I mean, I think that's an honest question. And that's what the whole thing scares me to death. This is when the homers are going to break out. The win is a win is a win. Ain't going to work, man. And I don't know how long it's going to work. It's worked up to this point, 8-2. It worked in 2023 to 10-1. How much longer, though, can you get an effort? And how much longer from a defensive standpoint? I'm going out there, breaking my skull open, and the offense is absolutely doing nothing. And then here's the team that we're playing after we've beat them up, drug them all over the field for 4 quarters, almost 4 quarters. How is that team, when it comes down to crunch time, still in a position to win? You're living on a very dangerous thin line. Now, I don't remember, and I have to go back in my archives. I don't remember the 85 Bear defense being backed up with this type of offense. Jim McMahon was a pretty damn good quarterback. They had Walter Payton, Willie Gault, the Fridge. They could put points up on the board. The 2000 Ravens, Trent Dilfer, enough said. Maybe that was a different type of season. But I don't remember dominant defenses in the past getting absolutely zero from their offense. And how long do you think in this era of modern football the Eagles can continue to live on that wire? And it's a question that's getting more and more pertinent every single week, but you get the naysayers out there, or you get the truthers, or you get the propagandists, you get the H words, you get them telling you, shut up, they won, you should be happy. No, that's not how this works. Have you been to Philadelphia before? Have you met us? Have you even spent a minute living and or dying with these teams? It doesn't work like that. Hell, we can't even be, or I wasn't even happy. Well, I was, but when they win a Super Bowl, everyone's like, well, they could have done that better. So what do you don't tell the side of the fan base that I proudly represent, the ones who are critical, not hot take people. Hot takes are making things up. I'm not making anything up. I'm just calling as I sees them. But don't tell that side of the fan base to stop being critical. Don't tell that side of the fan base to keep your head down in color. That's not how it works. That's not how this works. You can't ignore a problem. And God love the homers, man. God love them, because we couldn't do this without them. I couldn't do this without them. It'd be a boring life for me without the homers. And I thank God for you every day. And as I've said in the past, homerism is a disease, it's a sickness. And I'm here to help you cure yourself of that disease and sickness. Just reach out to me and I'll get you the deprogrammer help. I'll get the white van. I'll take you to a bombed out factory in the industrial area and we'll get you deprogrammed. I promise. I'm here to help you. So I'm not going to like kind of crap on the homers. I'm here to help them. But I need them. I need them to stay the way they are to a certain degree, because I need to interject energy into my world. Oh man, let's see what we got going on here. Joe Hale, Joe Hale says it should be offense. Yeah, if anything, Joe, it was offensive pass interference, but I would have been okay with a no call. Honestly, can we talk Flyers? Ricky, stop asking me that, man. Just like throw out a question. Yes, I am going to open the phone lines up in a minute. Trust me. Let me get through this and I'll open them up. 16-9. And now A.J. Brown at his locker last night, looking a little 7 targets, 43 yards. And as I told Al, though, it was nice that the Eagles got him involved in the offense, but was it more of a placating move? I mean, he did sort of kind of pull up on one of the deep balls in the game. Did you guys see that play where he's going down the sidelines? The ball was about 25 yards overthrown, and he sort of just, quit on the ball. And 7 targets or 7 receptions, 43 yards. But was it anything like, ooh, AJ is really putting on a show out there? No, everything was underneath. He did have that nice sideline catch. That was pretty, right? But everything was underneath. Everything was contained. Nobody got AJ out in space. So AJ doesn't seem to be any better this week than he was last week, as he was held off out of the end zone again. Saquon Barkley continues to spin his wheels. Lane Johnson is gone for the next 6 weeks with a Liz Frank sprain. So that means in a good case scenario, he's ready for the playoffs, right? The other part of the offensive line, Jordan Mailata, Landon Dickerson, Cam Jurgens, they're all dealing with injuries. And the question goes back now. How much longer can the Eagles continue to live on the wire? Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions last night, 0 for 5 on 4th downs. Dan Campbell admittedly said in his press conference, you know what? Maybe I was a little too aggressive. Maybe I didn't read the room correctly. Unfortunately, Dan, you get one shot at it and you got to get it right. And he was a little too aggressive. And that's what Dan Campbell is. Nick Sirianni, got called for a false start on a tush push. Finally, after all these years, they get him on a false start. I asked Al last night, is the foundation solid? Heading down the stretch. The schedule benefits the Eagles going down the stretch. I will not sit here and tell you that the Eagles really are going to be challenged, maybe, but 2 more times. But it is the NFL. You can't overlook opponents. But if you're looking at the schedule, you got really the Chargers and you got the Bills. That's all you got really left. It's maybe gets you a little scared, maybe gets you a little bit tense. I mean, I'm not sitting here telling you they're going 15-2. They're probably going to either sit somebody at some point or they're going to hit a bump in the road. But it doesn't matter to me anymore about the regular season. It never really did. It was almost like the mantra or the attitude we had about the Phillies this year. I don't care about the regular season. Just get me in October. And I had a similar mantra about the Eagles. I don't really care about the regular season. Let's get to January, because that's when it matters. Now with the offensive line already weakened with injury, now they've lost Lane Johnson. Saquon Barkley is officially not going to replicate 2024. And I don't even know what I honestly don't know his ceiling. Jalen Hurts, for some odd reason, does not have the trust of his coaching staff to turn the ball loose. And you got A.J. Brown still pissed off. And you got your offense who is averaging putrid amounts of points. So, well, they had 13 first half points last night. So now for the season, the Eagles have scored 137 points in the first half of games. It's about 14 average. They scored 3 points in the second half last night. On the season, the Eagles have scored 97 points in second half action. 97, less than 100 points. That's a 9.7 point average. The Philadelphia Eagles are averaging less than 10 points in second half action in 2025. How much longer can they continue to win that way? And I recall a conversation not too long ago, similar to the one I'm having now. And to be exact, that was back in 2023. And I got called a crackpot, a nut job. I got bats in my belfry. I'm playing with a warped puck. I got called everything when I predicted that the 2023 season would end in disaster because the win is a win is a win, and the way they were winning just wasn't going to last. And what happened? Well, the 2023 season ended in disaster. And yes, I have similar vibes about the 2025 Philadelphia Eagles because there's no way you're going to make me feel comfortable with an offense this anemic. I feel very comfortable about the defense, but how much longer can they keep going? Someone's got to help them out. They got to get help. They are playing a lot of football. They are once again on the field a lot. And we've talked about this. 9 games remaining until they can get to a bye. Or is it 8? 9, 8, something like that. Until they get to a bye week. How much longer can it last? All of these are very interesting questions that I want answers. I don't have an answer about how long it can last. But I have a theory of why it's happening. And I'm going to share that theory with you guys momentarily. 16-9. Final score. Matt, can you make the wrestling? Can you make it to wrestling? Ricky, I'm not a wrestling guy. I never quite got into that. I was too into girls growing up, man. You know, my Saturday mornings were spent doing other things at a young age. So I never really the wrestling bug never really bit me. So no, you will never see me at a wrestling match. I'm not downgrading it. People that enjoy it, to each his own, but it was never one for me. I got into other things. Foolishly got into other things. But per everyone's request, I am going to open up the phone lines. We do that here on the program where we go WIP style here, or terrestrial radio, I guess maybe. I don't want to give WIP all the credit for that, but we'll go terrestrial radio. As I will open up the phone lines, I will drop the link to the show, to backstage of this show. You can click on that link, pop back here. I'll put you on the air, and we can talk whatever you want to talk. We have a bunch of topics that I threw out there tonight, but you don't have to go on script. You can go off script. It's your dime. I don't have to see you. If you don't have a camera, that's fine. But I have to be able to hear you and talk to you. Or I have to be able to hear you, and you have to be able to talk to me. So audio is a must. So there you go. The phone lines is open. It's going out on all of our social media outlets where we're streaming from right now. So please come on back, come on, and let's have some fun. Talk whatever you want, and remind everybody that as you're pondering whether you want to get on the air, this is what's coming up this week on the It's a Wrap Sports Network. You got me tonight, tomorrow. Props, locks, and parlays. As far as I know, we'll be back. I have not heard anything to the contrary. I know Mike is dealing with a personal problem. But as far as I know, the show is going to go. Now, be on the lookout. That might change. And then after Mike tomorrow night, it's me again. Wednesday night, you got the Pittsburgh Sports Desk, and you got me. Thursday night, you got the Birds Blast. Me and Kyle will break down this game, and I cannot wait to talk to him. God, I can't wait. As well as we will look ahead at the Cowboy game. And once again, we'll talk about how meaningless Dallas week is. Yes, we are back at Dallas week. It is another Dallas week. What a waste. What a waste of a great rivalry. That rivalry has gone to hell. Terrible. But no one cares. It's Dallas week. 8 o'clock is the Gridiron Weekly. I'm back for some final word. And then Mike Laro, again, as of now, We'll have you Flyers Blues post game. Nothing on Friday. Penn State, Nebraska, as we're mercifully ending the Happy Valley Huddle. We have one more week after this. They got the Scarlet Knights of Rutgers to wrap up their season. I will have you Saturday night against the Devils on Clear the Ice. Sunday, a big day. Philly AM Sports will make its debut this Sunday. Sorry about that last week. Again, life comes at you sometimes, and you just got to deal with it. Not 9:30, but 10 o'clock is the Steel City Sunday pregame. They haven't done 9:30 since like week 2. I don't know where the hell I've been, but they're doing it at 10 o'clock, and then they'll come post game. I believe it's Steelers Bears this week. We got you Sunday night around 7:30 for Eagles Cowboys post game, and then I will wrap it all up Sunday with with the final word. So there's our schedule. It's out on all our social media platforms as well. So make sure you're checking in and doing the according stuff that you have to do. So let's get to the phones, and I'm going to go with Joe Hale tonight. Joe, what is up, man?
How are you?
I'm doing well, Joe. How are you?
Yeah, I'm still rocking Devontae Smith.
Yeah, I see you there.
I believe in Eagles offense.
You do? Why? How? Explain yourself.
I noticed. Can we go back to John Hurst running the ball more? It opens up everything. It opens up the play action passes. Why?
Joe, I have a theory, as I said earlier, like maybe 5 seconds ago or maybe 2 minutes ago, that I'm going to explain why the offense is not working. And I'm going to explain the fix, and it's along those lines. It is, without giving away too much of it, because I do want to explain it in detail. I have numbers to break down. I have comparisons, contrasts. We're going to do experiments. It's going to be fun. But it does evolve around number one. It really does evolve around him. And I agree.
Forget I said that. I want to talk hot stove. Josh Naylor, the biggest
5 years
so far. Seattle Mariners. Now, there's rumblings out there. My buddy lives in Toronto. The Blue Jays are meeting with Schwarber's agent. What's your take on that?
I would be hugely surprised if Kyle Schwarber goes to Canada. I mean, the money. The exchange rate doesn't work for him. He doesn't get paid as much. He's not going to walk away from the money from a major market. And I'm comparing Cincinnati to a market like Toronto. All right. He's not going to walk away from anything down here to go to Canada. There's no way in hell. No way.
The Reds get him.
Well, I'm just saying the Blue Jays ain't getting him. I'm not saying the Reds are going to get him. He's not going to Canada.
I'm going to give you a sleeper team for Pete Alonso, and it's not the Phillies. Ready for it? Boston Red Sox.
Yeah, does that make sense for Boston? Yeah, it makes sense for Boston. No, it also makes sense for it makes sense for the Yankees.
No, not the Yankees.
Yeah, it makes sense for them.
I also heard hypothetical trade rumor, but it's coming from the internet. Alec Bohm for Grissom, the center fielder in New York, I believe.
Trent Grisham?
Yeah. Would you do it?
I think I might be wrong, but I think he's a free agent. But I would do it if he wasn't. Absolutely. But let me check that for you real quick. Trent Grisham. Where's my stepson? He would know offhand. Let me see what we got here. Where are the Yankees at?
I'm not sure. I heard.
No, either am I. I could have sworn maybe I saw something about it, but maybe I'm wrong. Let's take a look. Yankees all positions, MLB all contracted types. No, he is not a free agent. So yeah, damn, the Yankees have 2 free agents all season. Get the hell out of here. 2 free agents is all the Yankees have. Now that can't be right because Bellinger's a free agent. What's that?
Would you take Grissom?
I would absolutely.
Right up?
Yeah, for Bohm, yeah, 100%.
And maybe
100%. No, not even. Wouldn't debate it.
Throw in Rojas because he's on a market.
Now you can throw in Rojas. You can throw in Castellanos too. Matter of fact, throw Rojas, Castellanos, and you know what? I'll toss in Bryson Stott for one of those stud pitchers you got down in AAA. So Grisham and a stud pitcher in AAA for those 3.
Or how about Harper going to the Yankees?
again, I'm whatever. Yeah, fine, let's do it. But yeah, he would survive there. I don't know, but I don't know if he'd survive playing second fiddle to Judge. I don't know how that would work.
Okay.
I don't, because that's Judge's team, not Harper's. The Phillies are Harper's. He's going to have to go into a team and have to actually listen to somebody else tell him what to do. I don't know how that would work. The Judge ain't going to listen to him.
Apparently, the Phillies are close to hiring Matty. Something's
great.
And the Phillies' first move is going to happen at the winter meetings. I'm telling you, my gut feeling is.
Yeah, I think their first trade's gonna. Joe, the winter meetings don't start till early December. Come on, man. I got that's like 3 weeks, man. I need something, man. Give me a low level move, something small. A signing. Just give me a signing. I don't need Pete Alonso. What's that?
They already signed someone a low level move.
No, man. I don't mean that low. I mean something MLB, like MLB implicable. Like I don't know, man. Sign. Okay, there you go. Make a decision on Schwarber, whether you're going to sign him or not. Okay. Maybe that's what I want to see, because obviously this is all waiting on Schwarber. I think once he signs, it's all going to go like a dam breaking. Everything's waiting on Schwarber right now. Honestly, do the Phillies are waiting to see how much, how much money he's going to command, and then once he signs with whomever he signs with, it's going to be, open season on free agents.
I heard another trade rumor, and this is from the Tigers. Would you take the Cy Young winner?
Yeah, Tariq Skubal, I would. Absolutely would, but he's a rental. He's, I think, a free agent at the end of the year, at the end of 26. So he is going to command a lot in a trade. I might as well just wait for the year to expire and then potentially, because what the Tigers might do with him, but the Tigers are in they're not in a bad spot, but they're a playoff team. They might not be able to unload him at the trade deadline. He's a tough one because he's only a 1-year guy right now, and he'll be a free agent. So, a lot of teams might stay away from him.
I think if he doesn't, I think the Yankees go after everybody.
Yeah,
I don't see Kyle Schwarber on the Yankees though.
Again, well, they got a DH, Stanton. I don't know if the Yankees would want him. I mean, power bats do you need? And I mean, I guess in theory, you could probably move Stanton back into the outfield, but he can't play center field. I don't know. I don't know if the Yankees have room for Kyle Schwarber in terms of like 9 up baseballs to go around. You know what I mean?
What do you see the biggest trade happening? If you had a crystal ball, who would you say gets traded? I'm not saying for the Phillies. I'm talking about all Major League Baseball.
I haven't really spent much time thinking about that, but God.
And there is breaking news. Ready?
Yeah.
Mason Miller, the Padres closer, they're talking about moving into a starter now.
Huh? Yeah, why not? I mean, I don't know. Man, they spent a lot on him. I mean, they gave up like 7 prospects for that kid. That was a big trade. That was a big trade to the A's. I'm telling you, Joe, I'm going to say it right now. Before March, before we do our preview show, the Athletics are making the playoffs in 2026. They're going to be a wild card team. You heard it here first.
I don't see it.
No, I do. They got so much young talent. Now they got to add a couple veterans, and I know that's a big if. They may not do that.
Wild card team, 2 years.
Who?
The Angels, if there's a season.
No. The Angels got no pitching, and they really can't seem to figure out. And it's Trout. If Trout can regain form and stay healthy for more than 1 year in a row, then yeah, maybe. But
or maybe Phil try to go get O'Hoppe back.
They could. Now, okay. So your trade, you jarred me. You made me think of it. It would be the Phillies going after one of them young catchers, i.e., Ali Rushman from Baltimore or Hunter Goodman in Colorado. That would, to me, be a really big trade because of the fact that both those players are young and under team control. So that I want to go with that. I guess I'll go. The Phillies going after one of them young catchers.
I want Rushman from Baltimore.
I'll take Hunter Goodman if I had my choice, but I'll accept either one. But I would take Hunter Goodman if I had my choice.
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
All right, Joe. That's it. No, that's all you want to talk about the Eagles. You don't want to get in. So you made a statement about the Eagles' offense is going to be fine, and you said because Jalen Hurts is going to run. That was your reason?
Yes, I think Hurts needs to run the ball more. And
you might not be wrong.
If he does that, I noticed when he ran the ball yesterday, Goddard was open. Smith was open. Who's the other one? The Penn State kid.
Dotson
was open.
Everybody gets open when he starts moving because people get scared, and all of a sudden everyone flows to his side of the field, and people.
You get offensive line penalties also.
Yeah, you do. And right now, that's a big problem because this offensive line is teetering on disaster right now.
I want to talk a penalty. What that offsides call? I mean, the false start
on the tush push.
Yes, was that a false start?
Was it the one where he was doing this, like waving his arm around, and he was off the line of scrimmage, right? The guy that was it was a receiver that was off the line of scrimmage, right?
No, where he touched his hand. The other one.
Oh, where he reached over and he touched his hand. Yeah. I mean, they could say you flinched, but reaching across the line of scrimmage and touching somebody, I don't know, man. That's weird. I'd call it in principle because it's weird. Why are you doing that?
I watched that game this morning, and the Detroit player was in the neutral zone.
Well, that's what they were saying on the broadcast. But what on the tush push, everybody's in the neutral zone. That's the problem. Where is the neutral zone in the tush push? The line is all bowed around.
And the line did it, and they stopped, and Eagles stopped them.
Yeah. It was not a good offensive night for the Lions. But
go for fourth down in Detroit on that fake punt.
That was a terrible call. Terrible decision by Dan Campbell. That was the turning point of the game. I knew they were losing the game right then and there. That was a terrible decision. A fake punt. I mean, is it 1995? We're not doing those anymore. Just go for it, man. Line up, try to draw them off sides or run some sort of draw play. I mean, they couldn't do that either, but still.
Yeah.
A fake punt? And then he ran right up the middle on a fake punt.
I'm going to argue. My MVP, because I fell asleep yesterday while I was listening to you guys. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine.
Jordan Davis was my defensive MVP.
He had a good game, blocked a lot of passes, but Nakobe Dean was everywhere yesterday. He was everywhere and anywhere.
And caused the interception.
Yes. Yeah. No, listen, him and Carter their presence were felt. Jalen Phillips' presence was. I got you. I'm not going to. It's hard for me to argue anybody on the defense to get MVP. But every single time I turned around, number 17 was interjecting into a play somewhere. The guy was everywhere on the field. And if he can stay healthy, he is a game changer. But that's a big if.
I love how on the other side of Phillips was Nolan Smith on the line.
Mm-hmm. Yep. They moved Nolan over to the right side. Yep. And it's working well. All right, Joe, we'll talk tomorrow.
Yep.
All right, brother. Have a good day. Joe Hale. All right, let's bring Ricky on and get this over with. Ricky, what's up? Is that A.J. Brown or Carson Wentz?
A.J.
I hope it's A.J. Brown for a little bit longer, man. Doesn't seem A.J. Brown's getting any better, man. He seems a little bit more upset today, Ricky. He got 7 receptions last night. Should A.J. still be upset? He was involved, right? Or should A.J. still be upset?
Mm-hmm.
He should still be upset. Yeah, 7 receptions, 43 yards. Really didn't demonstrate his full potential last night against the Lions. Ricky, they got to figure out how they got to figure this offense out, Ricky. They can't continue to win like this. It's not going to be sustainable at the most important time of the year in the playoffs.
We win more games.
So I said this last night, Ricky. It's an interesting question. Or I just said this tonight, matter of fact. There's only really like 2 more games left on their schedule that really kind of scare me. That's the Chargers and the Bills, and everybody else. And they're 2 AFC teams. I mean, they could go 15-2 theoretically. They could go 13-5. Probably 13-5. It wouldn't be that. No, that's 18. 13 is what? 6? No, 13-4. 13-4. Good Lord. They could do that. But it's about Super Bowl, Ricky. It's about winning in January. And I don't know right now if that's what this team is in the best position to do. So we're going to have to wait and see, Ricky Dio. I appreciate you chiming in. Ricky, if you have
we go 5-0.
We'd go 5-0. Yeah, we could.
We go.
Yeah, we could, Ricky. All right, Ricky, man. Thanks a lot for tuning in. And if you got a Flyers question, Ricky, just drop it in the chat and we'll talk about it. All right, man?
No problem, Mr. Matt.
You take care of yourself, Ricky. Call back tomorrow night, brother. Ricky Deal, man. Gotta love him. Gotta love some Ricky Deal. All right. Again, the phone lines are open for those of you that want to chime in and get part of the conversation. And I do want to attack Joe Hale. Not attack Joe Hale, but I want to attack what Joe Hale said. He mentioned that getting Jalen Hurts out and running a little bit more, or maybe a little bit more design runs, or just getting him out in space a little bit more is the remedy of this offense. And I don't know if there's anybody around here that disagrees with that, because there's really nothing else left to do at this point. Can't bring in any more people in. The offensive line situation is what it is. You got a great payroll of players on the offense who are not performing up to their expectations. And yes, and there's excuses abound about why they're not. There's the Kevin Padula crowd. There's the Nick Sirianni crowd. There's the Kevin Padula and Nick Sirianni crowd. There's the Saquon Barkley's not having a good year crowd. I mean, there's a lot of different crowds that are sort of taking their stance on why the Eagles are struggling so bad offensively. But there's not much of a Jalen Hurts crowd. There's not much criticism going in the direction of Jalen Hurts. Now, before I start this little rant, I just want to put out a little disclaimer. And again, I can't believe I got to say this every time, because the friggin' Jalen Hurts apostles get their panties in a twist so much when anybody attacks that quarterback. But I do want to put this out before I get into this. And I say it all the time. Jalen Hurts is a good to above average quarterback in this league. He's not elite. He never will be. Not here, at least. And I am not anti-Jalen Hurts. I'm just not pro Jalen Hurts. But I don't think it's Jalen Hurts' fault that I am not pro Jalen Hurts. And please let me explain. There seems to be this what's the word? Stigma around Jalen Hurts and his ability to play the position. Now, I want to pull some numbers for you real quick. In 2022, which was the year we went to the Super Bowl and we lost to the Chiefs, he attempted 460 passes. He threw for 3,701 yards, 22 touchdowns, and he had 6 interceptions. In 2023, in that year that it all fell apart, he attempted 538 passes. So closing in on 80 more than he did in 2022. He threw for 1 more touchdown pass than he did in 2022. He threw for 23 in 23, but he threw for 15 interceptions. Okay? 15 interceptions. So that's in 2 football seasons of work, 21 interceptions, right? In 2024, it's hard for me to go and give this an accurate kind of an assessment, not a grade. I want to be very clear. I'm not grading anything. But in the first 4 games of the 2024 season, the Eagles were attacking the football or attacking opponents just like they were doing in 2022 and 2023. And it led them to a 2-2 record, and it led to Jalen Hurts having some turnover problems early on in the season. Now, they completely stripped the offense down, revamped the offense, and went run heavy. And Jalen Hurts and the rest of the offense was a great benefactor of what Saquon Barkley did in 2024. His final numbers in 2024, he attempted 361 passes, and I've that number should be memorized. I've talked about it so many times. He only threw for 5 interceptions, and he threw 18 touchdowns. So his touchdowns were down, his lowest since 2021, but his interceptions were as the lowest since 2020, which was the season he came in at the end and started like 2 games. So he threw 5 interceptions all season. This season, he's got 1 interception. He's attempted 269 passes for 1,995 yards and 16 touchdowns. So what is the common denominator here? Or what is the control? What is the contrast? What are you seeing when I talk about that thing? There's a risk and a reward with every quarterback in this league. You get a quarterback that's going to throw the football 35, 40 times a game. He's going to throw interceptions. That's just part of the nature of the beast. But for some odd reason, the Eagles, they do not allow Jalen Hurts to lose a football game. They have seemed to have taken everything away from him, his ability to go out there and be an elite. And I said it, to be an elite. Jalen Hurts can't be elite because the Eagles won't let him be elite. And I think the homers and the Jalen Hurts apostles need to start wrapping their head around that. And what I mean by that is, is he an elite quarterback? Maybe somewhere else he is. But while he's here in Philadelphia under Nick Sirianni, he's never going to be elite because he's never going to be given the opportunity to be elite. The Eagles are controlling what Jalen Hurts does on the football field to a point where it's now affecting, obviously, the offense. There's no reason that Jalen Hurts should not be rolling out. There's no reason why there shouldn't be a lot of draw plays and a lot of design rollout runs or rollout RPOs. There's no reason for that. Or is there a reason? What is Nick Sirianni so scared of? He's going to throw more passes. He's going to throw more interceptions. It kind of comes hand in hand. Everyone goes through that. But if he's also putting up big numbers, if he's also moving the football, if he's also putting up points on the board, it all balances out in the long run anyway. So for you Jalen Hurts elite apostles, keep your heads up, man. Maybe the day will come when Jalen's not here and he can go be elite somewhere else, or Nick Sirianni's not here and some other coach can come in and take the training wheels off of Jalen Hurts. Now, I'm not saying that I necessarily believe that he's not capable of being elite, or he's not capable of being the difference maker in this offense. But you've put so many weapons around him. It's almost criminal. It's almost like you're spiting yourself for not taking the training wheels off of Jalen Hurts. You can debate me all you want. You can call me a loser. You can call me I'm crazy. But look at the numbers, man. The quarterback does not do anything creative in this offense. It's not his fault. Somewhere on that sideline, somebody doesn't trust him to run an offense or to put the offense completely in his hands. Now, the couple times that he's gone rogue like this, the air quotes, necessarily hasn't worked out. But if the offense ain't working right now, which it's not, Saquon Barkley's not going to have the 2024 season this year. The offensive line is going down one after another. Lane Johnson gone essentially for the season right now. We may get him back for the playoffs. The offense is imploding around this take care of Jalen Hurts type system. Get Jalen Hurts out in space. Let him try to make things happen. And then maybe once and for all, we can find out whether or not he's elite. But like I said last week to Kyle Quinn, I don't think Kevin Padula is standing on the sideline ordering up 7 straight run plays up the middle because he wants to purposely piss people off. I think he's ordering it up because there's somewhere on that sideline, somewhere down there in that locker room, somewhere up in the press box or in the suites, somebody doesn't trust Jalen Hurts' ability to run this football team. Now, if you can put down the Kool-Aid for a second and clean the green stuff out your eyes and really let what I said sink in, I think after you think about it for a minute, you might understand where I'm coming from. It's not that I'm anti-Jalen Hurts. I actually feel sorry for him because they don't trust him to run the offense for whatever reason it is. He's demonstrated issues with interceptions in the past. There are still some questions on whether or not he can read a defense or not. There's still something there that somebody doesn't trust to let him take the reins of that offense and do what God put him on the earth to do. And I think that's the question that if I was a reporter having to talk to Nick Sirianni every day, that is the question I would ask until I got yelled at to stop asking it. Why won't you let Jalen Hurts be a quarterback? What are you protecting him from? What are you hiding from us? What exactly about Jalen Hurts' game do you not trust? Because without changing anything, again, we're winning games with the win is a win mantra. We're winning game on the backbone of a great defense. How much more can we really, how deep can that go? And eventually Jalen Hurts is going to have to get an opportunity. If he doesn't, they're not winning a Super Bowl. So I think it's a great question. And I think I figured out the symptom or the fix. Let Jalen Hurts be a quarterback. Let him be the elite quarterback. See if he can actually be an elite quarterback. Unwrap the bubble wrap and pop off the training wheels and let Jalen Hurts go out there and play quarterback. If you don't, all else has failed. Saquon's not running this year. The offensive line is going down every week. You're running out of time. Get your quarterback out in space. Get him an opportunity to throw the ball downfield about 4 to 5, 6, 7, 8 times a game. Let him run and gun this offense. And we go from there. Interceptions are going to happen. That's part of the style. But this conservative, we're taking care of our quarterback. We're going to do what we do. It's going to wear your defense out. It's not going to work for the rest of the season. And how bad could it be? Or what is the real reason that with the way the offense has played so bad that Sirianni won't? I mean, what's he know that we don't know that's so bad that after what we've seen over the last 2 weeks, especially, they still won't cut the reins free on Jalen Hurts? What exactly is the problem with him? That's what I really want to know. I'll never find out, but that's what I would love to know. So I hope you Jalen Hurts homers, you Jalen Hurts apologists, you Jalen Hurts propagandists, you Jalen Hurts Kool-Aid drinkers, all you Jalen Hurts people understand the intent of this question. It's not to bash the quarterback. I feel sorry for him. I feel sorry for him that he's not been given an opportunity to be elite while he's here. And in the little time he's been given that opportunity, it didn't stick for whatever reason. But there's a reason. And it's more of a reason than, we want to piss you off. There's a reason why they don't turn the offense over to him. That's why he's not elite now. That's why he's certainly not an MVP candidate. But he can be. He could be. But will ever happen under Nick Sirianni? And how far is Nick Sirianni willing to take this offense down hell's path before he realizes, you know what? Just let the kid go. Hell, Jalen, do what you do. I'll accept it, yes or no, or good or bad. And if we don't get to that point and the offense still struggles, what exactly are they protecting him from? What exactly can he not do so bad that he's not given an opportunity to? So there's my theory about the offense. The offense can get fixed if you let Jalen Hurts be a quarterback. Now, if the problem, whatever it is, that's not allowing you to let Jalen Hurts be a quarterback, if it's that bad, then maybe we got bigger problems here. So there you have it. That was my Jalen Hurts rant. Not too bad, right? I didn't go off on the guy. Again, I'm not anti-Jalen Hurts. I'm just not in love with him like some people are. But there you go. My Eagles rant. 16-9, 8-2. Get the Cowboys coming up. Dallas week. We'll talk Dallas week tomorrow for about 5 seconds because that's about all it's worth. So bad. Greatest rivalry in sports. Gone to hell. Gone to hell. But we'll talk Dallas week tomorrow. All right. The Eagles segment of this show is brought to you by the great folks over at the Steel City Sunday pre- and post-game show. There's a whole bunch of them now. They've actually morphed into 2 separate groups. You're looking at the whole cast here, but you got half of them doing the pregame and the other half doing the postgame. Make sure you're checking them out every Steelers Sunday or Monday or Saturday or Friday, whenever the Steelers are going to play, about 3 hours before kickoff is when the pregame will happen, and directly following the end of the game is when the postgame goes down. So Steelers City, Steelers pre and postgame shows here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network. Catch it while you can, as they got their own quarterback problems out there now. Mason Rudolph has returned. It's a shame it's not the trade deadline, because you could probably fleece the Steelers for Tanner McKee right now. Probably fleece them. Second round draft, maybe even a first. See how good Howie is. All right, let's move on to our Of the Night segment. Oh, you know what? No, let's not do that. Let's do the hot stove. Joe Hale teased the hot stove a little bit. Let's go into the hot stove. All right, the hot stove here on the It's a Wrap Sports and the Final Word is proudly brought to you by the newest members of the network, the P&M, or I'm sorry, the Philly AM Sports Show. Al Zafiri, Big Al, Big Mike, big together every Sunday mornings at 9 here on the network. We are supposed to have their grand unveiling on Sunday. Life got in the way. So right now we're targeting next Sunday, November 23rd, 9 a.m. for the grand unveiling of the Philly AM Sports Show featuring Al and Mike here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network, as we're moving forward, onward and upward with Al and Mike piloting the new Sunday morning show. Al, of course, is also hard at work devising the new plan for the wraparound, which will re-debut at some point in December. So Al Zafiri is about to get awfully busy here on the network. About friggin' time. Tired of doing all of it, man. Tired. Don't pay me enough to do all this damn work. But Al and Mike will be coming at you on Sundays at 9, starting, hopefully, God willing, this Sunday. All right, before we get into Hostile, I do want to backtrack. Got to it eventually. On the awards. So MLB handed out all their awards over the past 10 days for their season accomplishments. And we went over a majority of them. And I erroneously told you we were done with the MVPs. There's about 4 or 5 of them that I didn't even talk about. And so tonight we're gonna fix that. And I'm going to go into the awards that we didn't talk about, starting off with your all MLB team, your first and your second all MLB teams. This is league in specific. You can be in the National League or American League to be on these teams. There's not one team for the American League, one team for the National League. Everyone's mishmashed as your all MLB team. Almost look at it like first and second team all pro, right, in football. So your all MLB first team catcher is Cal Riley from the Seattle Mariners. Vladdy Guerrero Jr. is your first baseman. Kel Marte of the Arizona Diamondbacks is your second base. Bobby Witt Jr. In Kansas City is your shortstop. Jose Ramirez, the third baseman in Cleveland. Aaron Judge, Juan Soto, and Julio Rodriguez are your outfielders from the Yankees, Mets, and Mariners, respectively. Your DH, of course, who you think, Shohei Ohtani. Paul Skeens is your one of your starting pitchers. Tariq Skubal is your other starting pitcher. Garrett Crochet is your number 3. Yoshimo Yamamoto is your 4, and Max Fried is your 5th. Man, talk about a rotation. What? Good God, if you had to deal with that group that's a rotation. Your 2 relievers who made the team, Chapman from the Boston Red Sox, and yes, Johan Duran from the Phillies is a right-hand pitcher named to first team all MLB team honors. But let's relax. Most of that work was done while he was a Twin. So, take that for what it is. Your second team is Will Smith from the Dodgers, your catcher, the young man, Nick Kurtz, the Athletics. Yes, the Athletics will make the playoffs in 2026. You heard it here first. Second baseman is Bryce Terang from Milwaukee. Bo Bichette, another Blue Jay, 3 Blue Jays making the all MLB team honors so far, is your shortstop. Junior Camarero is your third baseman from the Rays. Cody Bellinger, Corbin Carroll, and PCA, Pete Crow Armstrong, are your outfield from the Yankees, Diamondbacks, and the Cubs. And Kyle Schwarber is your second team DH as he makes it for the second team. Christopher Sanchez is also part of your second team starting rotation, along with Freddie Peralta, Brian Wu, Zach Wheeler as well, even though he went down in the season, but still did enough to make second team all MLB honors. Hunter Brown is your also a starting pitcher from Houston. Edwin Diaz and Andres Munoz are your relievers for the second team all MLB. Your DHs of the year, they actually hand out a DH award, the Hank Aaron DH award. It's interesting. Wait, is that what it's called? No, it's not. That's the damn MVP. Your outstanding DH for the season. There's only one of them. There's not two. And of course, it went to Ohtani. He is your DH of the year. Your comeback players of the year, Jacob deGrom from the Texas Rangers gets comeback player of the year. And Ronald Acuna from the Braves from the National League is also your so the American National League comeback players of the year. Your relievers of the year, Aroldis Chapman and of the Red Sox, and Edwin Diaz from the Mets. Your relievers of the year. Interesting. And your executive of the year, GM Matt Arnold of the Milwaukee Brewers wins his first executive of the year. Or second one. Now that, folks, is the end of the awards. I'm not going to go into any more. I've done them all. So we are officially done talking about the 2025 MLB awards. So I can cross that off my list as we went over through that. Fire Nick. Star Wars, welcome to the party, man. But let's get into that. So Joe Hale alluded to it a bit ago, but there was a trade as well in baseball yesterday. Robinson Ortiz and Tyler Gao. Ortiz went from the Dodgers to the Mariners, and Gao went from the Mariners to the Dodgers. Not what you would think, not earth-shattering at all. These guys are minor leaguers. Josh Naylor, though, did sign a big 5-year contract with the Mariners to remain in Seattle, as he is the first domino to fall in the free agent period. And the right-hand pitcher Kyle Hart from the Padres is staying in San Diego on a 1-year deal. So there you go. Josh Naylor, who was actually on my radar as well, to a potential replacement for Kyle Schwarber. Again, using the Bryce Harper can be the DH thing. Bring Josh Naylor here, make him the first baseman. But that's not going to happen, as he has decided to stay put in Seattle on a 5-year contract and locking him down with the Mariners, probably for the length of his good time in Major League Baseball. What did Nick Sirianni do for is nothing. What Nick Sirianni did for is nothing. What he's good for is nothing. Star Wars. Listen, you're not, again, you're on the wrong show if you think I'm going to argue you, man. You're right. I'm not a Nick Sirianni guy at all. Nick Sirianni is a fraud, man. Terrible coach. Absolutely. Actually, you know what? Let me take that back. He's not a terrible coach. I don't know what kind of coach he is. He doesn't coach. He's whatever the CEO thing is. When we do eventually fire him, and hopefully along with Howie Roseman, and hopefully Jeff Lurie sells the team. Hopefully all three of those things happen somewhat in my lifetime before I'm dead. I hope the next coach we get is actually a coach, not a CEO, not a COO, not a motivational speaker, not an advisor to the owner. No, I want a coach. Is that too much to ask for? A freaking head coach, a guy that actually knows X's and O's. That's kind of what I want. So I agree with you, Star Wars. 100%. 100%. All right. Let's get into our of the night. All right, the other night segment tonight here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network obviously is still centered mainly around the Flyers and their prospects. We're just too early on into the other seasons to get into the other things. The NHL draft Breakdowns are being put together as we speak. Trust me when I tell you that, and we will get ready to unveil those probably in January, probably right around or right after Christmas timeframe. We'll start jumping into NHL draft targets for all teams. We'll just go over probably the top 32 prospects as we see it so far. Then after that, sometime in February, we'll start breaking MLB draft down, which is going to be really tough because, February is when the college season starts. So it's going to be hard to gauge these, basing these prospects off of what they did last year, but that's typically how we do it anyway. And then in April, we'll break down, we'll actually start spotlighting Phillies players in July and January. So hopefully there's somewhat of a semblance of a team there that we can start breaking down. And then we'll get into doing some MLB draft stuff as well. Or did I say MLB draft? Yeah. I said all that. Are they losing? I know. We'll put them on Monday Night Football. All right, let's talk about the other night segment tonight. Again, we're doing Flyers prospect. This is a legit prospect. Matter of fact, he is so legit that scares me. This is the much maligned 2024 first-round draft pick, Jet Lachenko. Did I do this one already this year? I don't know if I did. I'll do it again. Lachenko is I say much maligned, is they don't seem to know where to put him at this particular moment in time. He keeps making the team out of camp and then getting sent right back to major junior hockey. I maintain my stance on him. What exactly is he doing at the major junior hockey level right now that's challenging him? Nothing. He's running roughshod up there because he's superior to that talent, but he's obviously not superior to NHL talent because he can't stick with the Flyers. So obviously it's a contract thing. They're trying to save it as much as they possibly can, and they think they have one more year to do it, and this is the year. But what exactly good is it doing for Jet Lachenko by keeping him up in Guelph with the Storm? We're a totally absolute terrible team. He was a reach at 13 overall. I'll maintain that forever. But he shows some flashes. He's got speed, but that speed is not otherworldly here in the NHL. He's definitely got to work on his offense at the pro level. And again, what's he doing in Guelph? I don't know. He should be in Allentown. He should be working with the Phantoms. Again, this is all about the contract, but to me, it's a wasted year for him. As soon as he steps on the ice, Lachenko increases the pace of the game twofold. 1 second, he's on the heel of an opponent, carrying the puck in the neutral zone, and the next, he's piercing right through it, the opposing formation with a puck on his own stick. At the junior level, okay, we haven't seen much of that at the pro level, and when he does play, it's sporadic. So Jet Lachenko is, again, I'm not saying he's a bust. It's way too early for that, but it ain't looking good. It's not. I don't know. The first thing you got to admit with Jet Lachenko is you got to get him out of juniors and you got to put him in at some level of pro hockey. Contract be damned. And what's really scary is they don't think he's even that close to put him in Allentown because perhaps they're thinking he's more of a long-term kind of project. So they're not going to waste a year or potentially a second year of his contract in Allentown. So you're going to keep him up in junior hockey where he's not getting challenged, but yet it's saving time on his contract because he's allegedly so far away from being NHL ready. That's what's really scary about this situation and Jet Lachenko. And it's definitely something we're going to keep an eye on as we move through his career. So there you go. Our Flyer prospect of the night, Jet Lachenko of the Guelph Storm. Phillies are trying to get younger. Are they? Do you have some inside knowledge you want to drop on the Star Wars? Because I haven't seen any of that. I would like that to be true, but I have not seen that. The other night segment here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network is brought to you by the other Pittsburgh family of shows that we do here on the network. The Gridiron Weekly Report every Thursday night at 8, and then every Wednesday night at 8, the Pittsburgh Sports Desk. So make sure you're checking out if you got a thing for Pittsburgh sports and NFL football and NCAA football. Let me be fair. For the Gridiron Weekly, they covered all. Make sure you're checking out these two programs. And that leads me to my final segment of the night. And here we go. All right. There's a poker game going on over here. All right. Let's welcome to the MattyB card review segment of the night. Tonight, we are back in 2025 where we belong. And we're back with a player that I'm talking about quite a bit tonight. Yeah. Damn. I didn't go over the Hall of Fame stuff. I'm going to do that after the card. Do not let me sign off without talking Hall of Fame. Please. Joe Hale, if you're still listening, do not let me sign off without doing Hall of Fame. The Orioles have received calls for Adley Rutschman per Jim Bowden. The Phillies have been a link. Yeah, I saw that too. Calls, linked, rumored. Give me some action. And me and Joe Hale talked about it. Star Wars, I'll ask you this question. You're a baseball guy. See you every day in the summertime when we do the Fights Final, which continue to do that, please. But if you had your choice between the young catchers that are available out there, and I'm just saying a choice. You don't have to settle for one. And I'm going to give you two. Adley Rutschman of the Baltimore Orioles or Hunter Goodman of the Colorado Rockies. Which one, if you had your choice of those two, would you go with? I'm interested to hear what you have to say about that. But yes, I did hear that rumor too, that they're talking to him. But people are talking about everybody. But tonight's card, let's get back to the business at hand. 2025 Topps, and it's in not the most recent series released. It's the holiday set cards that they put out back in October. And no, they're not Halloween themed; they're Christmas themed cards. Every year, Topps does a holiday themed card set. This year, if you guys remember last year's cards, it looked like Christmas had literally thrown up on these things. They were so gaudy and so over the top of Christmas. This year, they went a little bit more reserved and a little bit more decor. Just a subtle little garland wrapped around the border of the card. Pretty cool. It's not over the top. Really didn't know if it's Christmas or not, but it definitely does. And there's some snowflakes sprinkled in around the card as well. So I like the reserved look that 2025 Topps holiday cards have taken. And I've pulled a few of these cards. Matter of fact, I've gotten maybe 200 of them so far this year. Of course, now also the Topps update series is out now. They came out last week. And then that means at the end of the month or the beginning part of December, Topps Update Chrome will come out, thus completing your baseball card season in 2025. But tonight, we're back on the holiday card. And a player that I've been gushing over all night and been gushing over for quite some time because we followed him all through college. We talked about him as he was getting ready to come out. Nick Kurtz of the Athletics. This is his holiday card. It's his rookie card. Now, unfortunately, out of all the Topps cards that have come out this year, to include Series 1, which he wasn't available in because he hadn't been called up yet, this is the only rookie card I have of him. I don't have his actual rookie card. I really need to probably come up with that card here soon. It would be nice to get him in an update series card or even better, a Topps Update Chrome, because his card in Topps Update Chrome is a rookie 1/1 auto relic card. Not going to be anything like Paul Skeens' card was last year, but definitely going to be a cool card to have in anybody's collection. And this is a smart looking card. It is his rookie card, but it's not his actual rookie card. This is his holiday variant of his rookie card. And of course, he is the reigning now rookie of the year as he won that award last week. And a future of baseball and future of athletics baseball. Bryson Stott would look good playing next to him. Bryce Harper would look really good giving him advice. So let's maybe make that a reality. But Nick Kurtz, a good young player. As I said, I love the understated Christmas of this card, not like last year's card. And we've done last year's cards. You've seen what they looked like. It's like literally Christmas had thrown up on the card. This card is actually pretty valuable, even at a Christmas variety or variant. It's anywhere between $10 and $25 right now on a lot of reputable websites. People are trying to sell these cards for, and so you set your market off of what they're asking. So it's feasible you get $20, $25 for this card right now, and that's pretty unheard of for a holiday variant card. And of course, it might have a lot to do with him just winning the Rookie of the Year. So if you have an abundance of these cards laying around, I don't. This is literally the only Nick Kurtz I have in my collection. You probably want to. You could probably sell one right now while it's hot. Of course, it'll cool off as the winter goes on, and then if he falls off the planet, it'll become worthless. But This could be an opportunity if you had more than one. I'm not saying if you have one, do it, but if you have multiples in Series 2 or in Chrome or in Holiday, yeah, go ahead and try to move one for about $20. And then probably can get more. I'm talking $20 for the Holiday variant, which is not really a popular card typically. But Nick Kurtz, a good young player, good young prospect, Rookie of the Year. I guess you can't call Rookie of the Year a prospect anymore. And that's his Holiday card. And this is it in its physical form right here. What you got right there? There it is. Again, pretty smart looking card. Pretty smart looking player right there in the back. There's his little bio there. The Oakland A's. Good to see him. Good to see him having success here at the major league level. Talked about him a lot in college. There you go. MattyB's card review is the Nick Kurtz card from 2025 Topps Holiday set. So Star Wars says you'd rather have Adley Rushman. I wouldn't. Hunter Goodman. All right. As promised, before I do go, the Hall of Fame ballot for 2026 is out. It was released today. And there's a bunch of players on it, a bunch of players making their first appearance. Some players are obviously returning. And the Phillies are very well represented on this thing. And I want to go over a couple of them right now because I do have a feeling, I got a sneaky feeling that we could be talking pinstripes in Cooperstown. And you don't know how cool that is, honestly, for me. You really don't. You don't know how cool that is for me to possibly have an opportunity to see some of these guys up at Cooperstown this coming summer. So I'm looking forward to a potential big time summer from some of these kids or some of these guys. Keep calling them kids. But let's go over the list here. I'm going to bring it up for you. I got it here for you. All right. So let me bring it up and we'll pop it up on the screen and we'll talk about it. Notables, of course. Here we go. Here they are. Here's your class of 2026. Bobby Abreu getting finally, Bobby Abreu getting some recognition and ends up on the ballot for the first time ever. He is joined by Carlos Beltran, Ryan Braun, Mark Burrell, Sin Shu Chu, Encarnacion, Gio Gonzalez, man, cast off from the Phillies. Phillies gave up on him stupidly. I've said that before. He had a lot of success with the White Sox and had a bunch of success with the Nationals. Alex Gordon, really good young player. Cole Hamels, baby, making his first appearance on the Hall of Fame ballot. You know, definitely one of our favorite pitchers from a fan's perspective. And yes, a very good pitcher. Of course, 2008, you know, he was the anchor of that World Series team. But, I mean, he kind of peaked in 08, and it was pretty much downhill for him after that. He's still a very, very good pitcher. I don't think he's got enough on the resume to get in the Hall of Fame. But it's good to see him on there. I wish him all the best of luck. Felix Hernandez, Torrey Hunter, Andrew Jones, Matt Kemp, Howie Kendrick, Nick Markakis, Daniel Murphy, Dustin Pedroia, Hunter Pence. What the hell's he doing on that list? Andy Pettit, Rick Porcello, Manram, Aroyd, Francisco Rodriguez, J-Roll, Chase Utley, you are the man, Omar Vizquel, and David Wright round out your 2026 Baseball Hall of Fame ballot. Listen, I think there's a good chance J-Roll and Chase Utley make the Hall of Fame this year. And I don't want to jinx it. Listen, this is a decent class, but when I look at these players that are up for induction, there's no slam dunks on this list. Everyone seems to be sort of kind of together. And if I look at it, I don't see a reason why both Jimmy Rollins and Chase Utley could not get in. And at a very minimum, one of them gets it. And I wish to God, and we'll find out in January as they will make their votes public right after they're done. So we'll find out in January who makes it. But I think there's a good chance, a better than good chance, that either Jimmy Rollins or Chase Utley, or God forbid, or God willing, both of them make it into the Hall of Fame this year. And as I said, if that's the case, it is going to be a rocking summer in Central New York, and more to follow on that later on. But I can't wait. Alex Rodriguez will never get in the Hall of Fame because of the steroids. Manny Ramirez, yeah, this poor man's Ortiz, Porcello, Andy Pettit probably will get in. I definitely can see Pettit getting in. Hunter Pence, don't know what the hell he's doing on Dustin Pedroia. Don't know what he's doing there. David Wright's got a better shot than Murphy. Markakis doesn't have a chance. Howie Kendrick doesn't have a chance. Matt Kemp. Now I'm talking this year, maybe in other years. Gio Gonzalez. Alex Gordon. Maybe not this year, but he's got a shot. Cole Hamels, I don't think he's got enough. Felix Hernandez has got a chance. Torrey Hunter, maybe. Andrew Jones, not this year. And Encarnacion, I don't think. Suchu, I don't think so. Mark Burley, maybe. Ryan Braun, yeah, I think Ryan Braun gets it. Carlos Beltran, yeah, I'll give it Carlos Beltran. And Bobby Abreu. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 4 Phillies. Actually, we got 5, 6. 6 Phillies or players that played for the Phillies. 7 to include Hunter Pence. So 7 Phillies or former Phillies are on this year's Hall of Fame ballot for the class of 2026. Jimmy Rollins, Chase Utley, Hunter Pence, Gio Gonzalez, Bobby Abreu, and Cole Hamels. Pretty good representation for the Philadelphia Phillies on this year's Baseball Hall of Fame ballot. Good luck to all of them. Special good luck to Jimmy Rollins and Chase Utley. They got to get in. They gotta. This is a good year, a really good opportunity for them to get in. At least one of them, if not both. So we'll be keeping an eye on that as we get closer to it. But there you have it, the 2026, the potential class of 2026, or the 2026 class of nominees for baseball's Hall of Fame. And that is going to wrap me up for the night. I want to thank you guys for joining me. A lot to go over. Obviously, the Eagles were the driving force of our conversation. You want to fix the offense, you got to turn your quarterback loose. For good or for bad, you got to turn them loose. That's the only way the offense is going to get fixed. This is our schedule again for the week. We didn't get into the Flyers talk much tonight, but we'll break ground with them tomorrow. Potential trade targets for them. Tomorrow on the program, or on the network, not program, network, props, locks, and parlays, and me will follow you. So that's our stuff for tomorrow, and this is our stuff for the rest of the week. So make sure you're tuned in every day on the It's a Wrap Sports Network, because you never know what might happen here. I might go crazy and blow the whole thing up. You guys have a great rest of your night. We will talk again tomorrow night. Enjoy the rest of your Monday and enjoy your Tuesday. Take care.